So, Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank
It's good
you.
to have you. Starting with not funny, but just to chill the mood, a few off the line questions. Which is the best hangout place in Uganda?
There are quite a few. I'm going to be giving myself away here, but there are two that I mainly spend a bit of time at. Rosaho, because I've got a lot of friends there, and the Villa, because it's right next door to where I live.
So you've given out where you stay.
Exactly.
Okay.
But nobody will find me because I'm always in bed.
Oh, okay. Arsenal and Man U.
I has to be menu
Why?
because they just are.
Okay. Virat Kohli and Rohit.
It's a tough one, but Virat Kohli is most probably the greatest batsman in white ball cricket that's ever lived, so it has to be Virat.
Okay. Test cricket in England versus Australia.
Oh, that's a tough one. Whether it's Lords or MCG or Sydney, I have to say, MCG 100,000, Lords history. I'm going to stick with Lords. Let's go to England.
Oh, I saw that coming. It's rare for people to choose Australia for.
Yeah, Lords is just too special.
Rolex or local Ugandan buffet?
Rolex, any day.
Beer or spirits?
I'm a spirit man myself.
Okay. Daytime, nighttime.
Yeah, love the day. I think it's amazing. Get outside, play sport. What else can we ask for?
And the night?
Yeah, the night. I think I'm getting a bit too old for the night times.
Really cool.
Yeah, I think at my age you start trying. You appreciate every hour of sleep.
Okay. So, what have you found fascinating about Uganda in the 3 years you've been here?
There's so much. It's a special country. I really love the country. Yeah, whether it's borders, whether it's just the way of life and how relaxed people are. I think it's got the most amazing people in the world.
Okay, that's nice. So now that was just icebreaker to get you into the interview mode. Tell us, who is Lawrence Mahatlane?
It's a difficult one. Lawrence Mahatlane is. I think I'm a very simple person in a lot of ways. Grew up. I've got one brother and 2 sisters. I'm the oldest of 4. Fortunately for me, both my parents still alive.
Wow.
I've got one son. His name is Tato. He's 5 years old.
Oh, do you have a picture of him?
Yeah, I do.
Please share.
I will share. He keeps me busy. Yeah, so very hard because I speak to him mostly on WhatsApp. So when he was growing up, he used to call me WhatsApp guy. So yeah, and a guy who's passionate about people. I think my greatest passion is people. Is seeing people grow, seeing people achieve dreams they never thought they would. And yeah, helping people grow, I think, is my greatest mission in life.
Oh, that's nice. So, just to take you about back to who you are, where were you born? Tell us about your community you were born in.
Yeah, I was born in Soweto, in Rockville. Rockville is famous for its sports facilities. We've got a lot of footballers that came out of Soweto. Came from Rockville, and we also have the first cricket oval that was built in Soweto, and both these facilities are about less than 100 meters from my home.
Wow.
So from a very young age I got exposed to sport. My father's passionate about football, still runs his own football club, had an uncle who coached one of the biggest teams in Soweto, and not only that, but a funny story, when my uncle was coaching that team, there was a young man who's now coaching, who's well known worldwide, Pito Musimane, who played in that particular soccer team as a 16-year-old.
Wow.
So yeah, it's.
So your family is famous.
Nah, not really. I think we just we're just very relaxed people. We love life and we love laughter. I think one thing you'll find anytime you walk into our home, you'll find laughter.
Oh, nice. So, growing up, how did you get into cricket? First of all, where did you go to school? Primary, secondary,
so
and how did you get into sport?
So if I turned right, I went into the sports field. If I went left about 50 meters, I went to school. So yeah, I was at school at Mahatlane Primary School, which is not far from the Soweto Cricket Oval, and mostly played football. But many moons ago, I won't give the year because it will give away my age. I'm still young. There was a lady, may her soul rest in peace. Her name was Kidi Choma, and she was very involved in cricket. And she got us to all go start mini cricket. And a lot of us started mini cricket. And I played mini cricket. From there, I moved to what we call primary high school at Runtwile, where there wasn't much cricket. So me and sport, instead I got into the whole singing and.
Wow, but you used to sing.
I've got one note. I can try a note or two.
Okay.
You have to catch me in the right space and right mood. Then I've got an opportunity. Fortunately, I got a bursary to St. Stephen's College, where I was very fortunate to study with some good cricketers, some good sportsmen. Unfortunately, I then got a rugby injury. Where I couldn't play sports my last 3 years of school, but then I did post-matric in St. Martin's, where fortunately for me I captained the cricket side and captained the area cricket side, Johannesburg South, and made it to the trials in the Johannesburg South rugby team.
Wow.
So then I got offered, funny enough, a rugby bursary to go to university.
After the rugby injury?
Yeah.
A bursary to
I came back and played for 2 years, but so I'm very passionate about sport, and I find it a calling. I find it you can't describe it to somebody who doesn't understand it. It's not a job. It's really a calling. It's something you do because of passion, because of the love, and for some strange reason, it seemed to keep rewarding you. I've been very fortunate that 28 years ago, if not longer, I'm trying to work the years back. 28 years ago, 27 years ago, started coaching an under-13 team. Out of that under-13 team, there's been the current director of cricket at Cricket South Africa was in that team. Former CEO of Cricket South Africa was in that team. And so many other people, and over the years I've worked with some of the most amazing people and individuals, so been very lucky.
Oh, that's very nice. And still we're going to just talk about your coaching journey. Before we talk about it, how many, like for example, for lack of better, as we want to call it, big names have gone through your hands, Uganda aside?
Where do you start? There's so many. I've been fortunate in my coaching career to coach South Africa under 19 at 5 different World Cups.
Wow.
To coach the National Academy team, to coach the South African A team, to coach the Lions. So if we start on the names, it could be the whole program. 1990, if I can get the year right in my head, 1996, Graham Smith was my under 15A captain. Guys like LB Moko, AB de Villiers, Aaron Pangiso, you name them. I think it will be the very few that I've never crossed paths with in my coaching career.
I understand. So how did you get interested into coaching after rugby? Because you told us you played, you drafted for rugby. How did you end up coaching cricket?
I was playing club cricket actually at Soweto Cricket Club, and there was a guy, Harmony Nchinga. And as a student, you always can do with a bit of extra money. And I used to have a lot of fun at the time, and the late Kaya Majola and Mr. Imtiaz Patel and Harmony sat down and called me in and said, you know, we need to help you learn a bit of discipline when it comes to your cricket. We think you can do a bit of coaching. And I started, it most probably started more as a punishment than anything else to try to teach me discipline. And it ended up becoming a passion. It ended up becoming something that I think about every day. I try reinvent myself on a daily, try see what's new, what's happening, what's trending, how we can change the game and how you can help people become better.
Okay. So what have you found? You're saying it's a passion, you're changing people, but what have you found most fulfilling about coaching, in your life of coaching?
Exactly that. I think, you know, when you talk to somebody and they look you in the eyes and they say, I didn't even dream about being a driver. Now I own 3 cars. It's creating the dream. It's making sure that people can look back at their sporting careers and say, you know what, that's what made a difference in my life. I remember one of the great stories that keep getting told is obviously the Themba Bavuma story. But I remember him as a youngster who hadn't made any provincial teams to all of a sudden get picked for the Gauteng under-19, go on play SA schools that year, SA under-19, average 66 against England in that SA under-19. And he's never really looked back in his career, now captaining his country in Test cricket and one-day cricket. So there's just so many stories where you see the underdog, the guy who nobody really rates, come through and become something special and make a career out of it.
Oh, that's nice. And what are the challenging things you've found in coaching?
Yeah, the biggest challenge is changing mindsets. Changing mindsets and making people, players understand that they're actually better than they are, you know, that they're better than their circumstances, that they can compete at any level. You know, when you're coaching disadvantaged players who's got a second-hand bat, a second-hand pair of gloves, they might look at themselves differently. And it is such a intriguing challenge to get them to believe that they can compete with the best in the world.
So before we go into coaching in Uganda, what would you tell a young person getting into coaching?
Yeah, just remember the most important person is the player. Never ever, you know, the very few coaches, a guy like Jose Mourinho, he'll talk about him being the greatest one. But if you listen to him carefully, if you listen to what he's built, when he speaks about his Chelsea days, when he speaks about his Real Madrid days, he always speaks about the players, about how the players were together, the players formed a great family. And yeah, for me, just always do your best to make sure that the player ultimately benefits from having spent a bit of time with you.
Okay, that's nice. That's lovely. I'm in awe of hearing of all this. I'm speechless.
How?
Wow, I'm
You interviewed me.
I'm seated near greatness.
No, I'm not great. I'm just a humble human being that has been lucky.
Really
I've been blessed. Let me not. I've been blessed to have worked in great environments.
I know, but it even shows that just to hear the names that have gone through your hands, the vast experience you have, it's very humbling. But now coming to Uganda, coaching Uganda for the last 3 years, you came in, took the team to Oman. You didn't take us to Oman.
No, I came after that.
After Oman. But
I came during lockdown. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then, but took us to the Challenge League bid. We have won the inaugural Africa T20 Associate Member Cup. We are now in the participants of the World Cup qualifiers for the first time. Our ranking has gone up since then. We've seen our players, especially Frank Subuga, make it in the same tables with players we admire. Tell us, coaching Uganda, what is it like for you for the last 3 years?
Ah.
From the start, when you got here, what was it like?
I'm actually getting goosebumps because there's just the one thing is there's just so much special talent. There's so much natural ability. The kind of athletes we have in this country, you just need to look at some of these youngsters. You think of Cosmos Chota, Juma Miyaji. These are guys that can bowl at 140. You look at young Lutaya, and these are youngsters that for the next 10 years will be representing their country with pride. And you just look at some of the senior players. You look at guys like Riyazat Ali Shah. They could play anywhere in the world. And that for me has been the most outstanding thing, just looking at natural ability of our athletes. And the biggest thing for me is always how do you make them actually see that in themselves? Because sometimes, you know, if you get told a certain thing about yourself, you start believing it. And, you know, seeing guys like Roger Mukasa come back after going through a bit of a dry spell to the force, the papa that he is. People like Brian Masaba, Kenneth Weiss, I can't stop talking about the kind of talent and ability that is here. Henry Sinyondo, you look at his figures, you know, he's most probably the least celebrated cricketer in this country because he's always been behind Frank Nsubuga, but he's played over 50 T20 hours. He's up there with the best in the world as well. So talent-wise, most probably second to none.
Wow. But then how has it been coaching this team? When you got here and they handed you the team, take us through those moments.
Yeah, I think at first I had to understand the team. I had to understand the people. And one of the biggest challenges was a lot of players, I don't know, very conservative, I'd say. Not really, you can't be. I don't think if you want to be a great sportsman, you can be shy and conservative. Because, you know, Cristiano Ronaldo is not going to walk in apologizing, or Lionel Messi and saying, oh, sorry, I'm so good, guys. I don't. And you need to get that, you know, it was something that I've tried hard to get that out of people, so that when you walk out there and you say, I'm Roger Mukasa, I'm Papa, people must know I'm Papa. And you needed that. It was something hard to get them to express themselves, to ask questions. Because when players ask questions of a coach, then you know that they've thought of it instead of just waiting there for instruction. So that transformation for me was one of the most exciting in terms of the group of players we have.
So in the 3 years, what has been your biggest achievement?
Yeah, I think
okay,
people.
5.
No, I think people. I think, you know, half the squad now has driving permits.
Wow.
They're guys that have bought cars. They're guys that have got homes, that have got land. They're guys that have got businesses that, you know, 2, 3, 4 years ago they'd have never thought of it. And I think just people, opening people's minds and getting into a situation. I remember saying to them many moons ago that one day 20 Ugandan cricketers will drive into Lugogo and park their cars for practice. And yeah, some of them thought, here comes the dreamer. And I'm most probably a dreamer. I believe that Uganda are good enough to go to the World Cup. We ranked 23rd in the world. The top 20 teams in the world go to the World Cup. That's how close we are. And I believe in the next 4 or 5 years, people will see the potential that I've been talking about come to fruition. And I'm really excited to watch these youngsters put their hand up. I'd love to see one of them play in the IPL. I'd love to see them play in the different leagues around the world, because they've got the potential to do it. It's about the belief and the hard work that they're going to put in.
Okay. We are wrapping up, but staying on the World Cup, we are going into the qualifiers in November. Then before that, hopefully we are going to defend the associate title. How ready are we, or how are we preparing, given that Namibia series was a tour from hell for us? How ready are we? How is the camp mentally and...
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can answer that at the moment. You know, we obviously try stay professional. There's a lot happening around us, and I'm hoping that once we get on the bus to Rwanda, we can focus and really tune into playing. We have to be ready. It's part of our process. It's part of our job, and hopefully we can put the performances out there.
So, Coach, finally, I won't say parting shots, but finally, what would you want Uganda and the world to know about Uganda cricket in general?
Yeah, very special, very talented, athletic, potential beyond our own recognition as a country. And I think that if we can jump that one hurdle and get to the World Cup, the world will know what Uganda is all about. There's some amazing talent, they're amazing people, and yeah, it's just, for me, it's an amazing place to be.
Wow. The last, what can be improved, especially in our leagues, to feed the national team?
Yeah, I think it's all about systems. It's about creating the right systems, making sure that we identify a young player at the age of 13 and we can track him and follow him for 10 years and make sure that at 23 he maximizes his potential and goes on to play for his country for another 10 years. So by just creating the right identification system, follow-on systems, and making sure that us as coaches keep improving on a daily basis, I think we can impart great knowledge onto a lot of players and really create a competitive environment, not only for the national team places, but for club places, for school places, and throughout the pipeline.
So you see Uganda in the World Cup sometime?
Yeah, Uganda will get to the World Cup.
Wow, thank you. You've heard it from the man himself, Coach Lawrence Mahatlane. I've been honored to sit in the ambience of greatness. Really, from here, I'm going to be great as well. But thank you so much, Coach, for coming on the show, for joining us, for sharing so much wisdom. And we shall be coming back to you for much more wisdom in cricket.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Coach Mahatlane, tell me, what are your best memories about Coach Mahatlane?
I think he was more of a parent to me, you know. Outside the field, he could call you, okay, he's that one person who could give you time after the game, like to ask you some questions. He could call and check if you're fine. So my best memory was that moment when he gave me a sweet hug when he was coming from World Cup. He told me some sweet words. Even up to now, whenever I'm training or whenever I'm down, I'm not scoring runs, I remember the words he told me in Chambogo when he hugged me for the first time when we were coming from the World Cup.
Because he just gave me a lot of confidence. When he came here after first 2 months, he told me that I can play big leagues like IPL, and I'm capable of playing big leagues, and that gave me too much confidence, and that gave me that tells me okay, I have to work a lot. I have the talent and talent to go play big leagues. That motivates me, and that push me to work hard and win games. Yeah.
Okay, now what would you say to him?
He's an amazing guy. He's he's a friend. He's a mentor. I'll say he's a leader who gave confidence to you, and he give you who you are, who motivates you every time. And I'll say keep going, and you are an amazing guy. Yeah.
Coach Mahatlane has been a father to me, because we've been talking about cricket stuff and different stuff like lifestyle, how to build ourselves in future after cricket. We've been talking a lot with Coach, so yeah, I'm gonna miss him as me, because we've been talking too much about other stuff out of cricket.
It's really been a good time with him. He's been a mentor. He's been a person that has pushed me to do better. The 2 years that I've been with him, I've really learned a lot, even in my profession, even with the cricket. Because personally, when I came in, I didn't know so much about cricket, but I've come to understand the game, the dynamics, the biomechanics, and it has helped me improve as a person. So I really wish him well wherever he's going.
Africa, was it final, regional final tournament in Rwanda, as we qualified for the global. It was the best moment with him, because he had promised me to go to the World Cup, and he asked me to do it for him. So in that tournament, I really had to do my best in that to make him proud. So the best thing on that tournament, it was my best memory with him, because I actually did my best because he gave me a chance to do it.
What other thing do you remember about Coach?
Coach is a straight up person. He really likes being straight up to something. Yeah, and he's a person who gives chances to people. He gives you, when he sees potential in you, he gives you a chance to either prove yourself or to prove to those who really don't believe in you. And he's a person who believes in dreams. Yeah, he's a dreamer and he believes in dreams.
Okay. A message to him as he departs.
Just wish him well in his next ventures. Wish him all the best. We really love him and we're going to miss him.